Hello everyone, we are back with one more All About Uni with my friend here, Moti. How are you, Moti?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to be here. I find this such an interesting series that we've been doing, and unfortunately it's coming to an end today.
Very quick.
Yeah, it went by quickly, but we've definitely enjoyed it.
And we have been learning a lot. And today we are not alone in our program. We have some very intelligent, smart students here with us. How are you guys? Before they introduce themselves, we're going to be speaking today about love on campus. How hard is this, right, Moti?
I mean, you go to university, you go there with plans to get an education, to make your mommy proud.
Think about your future.
Exactly, and then you arrive there and all of a sudden your hormones betray you. So how do you deal with this new thing, which is an attraction? It's for some not new because it may have begun in high school, but in university you have, I mean, when you're at high school, you still have your mom watching over you. In university, you have to be your own guard, you have to be your own parent. And how do you parent yourself amidst such a lot of temptation? That's what we're going to be speaking about today.
And that's what we're going to find out with them here. So can any of you start introducing yourself, your name, and what you are studying, please?
Hi, my name is Deji and I'm studying Business Management Marketing.
Wow.
Hello, my name is Bryony and I studied Business Information Systems.
Hello, my name is Sarah and I studied English Language and Literature with creative and professional writing.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Uche and I study fashion journalism.
Hi, my name is Charles and I study Games and Multimedia Technology.
Hi, my name is Louise and I studied Fine Arts Painting.
Well, Hakel, I feel like my English has to be on point because we have an English major in studio. I promise I'm not going to mess up my grammar, okay?
So you see, Mot, while they were talking about everything they are studying, we don't hear about love life, and so these are not, it's not on the plan, agenda, right? However, when you guys went to uni, I'm sure you were young, smart people. You had experience like that. You didn't only had to go there and study, you had to face these situations as well, where you found someone interesting, someone will start talking to you in a different way. And how did you deal with that? Who would like to start? Sarah, go on, Sarah.
When I first, like you said, when I first went to uni, I went with a vision saying, you know what, sorry, when I get to uni, I'm going to, graduate by the end of my third year. That was my plan. But when I joined basketball, because I love basketball, so when I joined the team at uni, I started to see a guy that I liked, and he met the requirements that I wanted, especially with the way that he looked in that sense. And straight from that, we started to speak and everything like that. And through me being with him, it led me to so many things that I've never done before. So that means I went raving for the first time, I drank for the first time, I got drunk for the first time, and I even started to see two people at the same time. It was really, really bad, to the point where we all went raving as a basketball team, and we came back to my boyfriend's house at the time, and I was seeing him in his room, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm coming back, and I'll go to the living room and see his friend. It got really, really bad where at the end of my first year, well, we broke up before the first year ended, and I started to hear rumors like, oh, he's speaking about me, saying this, saying that, and it really hurt me. So at the end of my first year, not only didn't I pass as much as I wanted, I got just average 40%, but I didn't like the course I was studying because I felt like, you know what, I didn't get what I wanted. So I started to be upset, like I want to move uni, I want to change my course. And it wasn't only because I didn't like what I was studying, but because obviously I had that experience alone there. So that just really distracted me from the goal that I wanted to achieve by the end of my third year. So yeah, that's my experience.
You see how love life can change the course of someone's life, right, Monty?
Yeah, I mean, this is a powerful area in our life, but no wonder it's a weakness for many people, because it's an area that affects your heart, your emotions, and those tend to affect how well you do in other areas of your life. So if you're kind of hurt, or you're not happy, or things are not going well within you, and your love life can definitely mess up with what's within you, then other areas of your life, your concentration in your career, in your studies is going to be affected. And something that I noticed that happens with university that maybe parents could take into consideration is you have to make these decisions of watching over yourself, balancing, starting dating and being careful, and sometimes you're not even prepared to make those decisions. You're not mature enough, or you're not you're not wise enough. You haven't been given enough preparation to make those decisions. And because this is an uncomfortable area for parents to talk about with their children, right? No parent wants to talk about their child falling in love, so they avoid that topic. But I think if parents prepare their children to make these decisions, it makes life easier for them when they get to university. Do we have anyone with another experience in terms of how your love life affected you on campus?
Okay, so when I first started university, I made a decision that, I'm just going to focus on my studies. I don't really want to get into a relationship right now. And I remember the first day that I was at the train station going to my university, I met a guy, and he also attended my university, which I found out later on. But he was literally everything that I would want in a guy, physically speaking. He was, I was attracted to him. And as I got to know him, I really liked his personality. He was somebody that you would admire. And he basically became a distraction to me. For example, instead of me focusing on my studies and what I'll be doing, I'll be thinking about him, I'll be looking out for him. When he would come, we'll just be speaking instead of me actually doing the work that I was meant to do. And we got really close. He asked for my number. He really wanted to more or less be a part of my life. But as I had made my decision not to get distracted with my love life, I didn't give him my number, basically. And it didn't go further than that, which I'm happy. But that's something that really was something that I, sorry.
Go on. Something that you...
It was, it was just something that I experienced at the beginning.
The two of you have something in common. Both of them mentioned how they looked at the guy and they were attracted to him because of how he looked like. And this is kind of the immaturity that I'm referring to, because making a choice of being with someone based on how they look like is a sign of not being prepared to choose someone to be in your life, right?
And you see that does not affect only their love life, but also their career, their future, right? Because as is something connected with the others, is love life on campus, on the that environment, this will also affect their future, their studies, and many other things. But I think we have to go to a break. But after our break, we come with something even more...
Yes, interesting. We have a question, to leave you before we go to break. What about you who makes the decision to wait to have sex until you're married? How do you deal with all that temptation in university and still stick to your decision? That's what our panel is going to be revealing to us after this break.
Everything worth having costs something. Don't sell yourself cheap.
And we're back with our panel of very well-opinionated girls and boys, and they have an experience to share, some experiences to share. So girls and boys, how do you guys handle this temptation when you've made the decision to wait to have sex before marriage? How do you balance this against the temptation that you face in university?
So I came into uni with the mindset, you know what, I'm here to study, get a degree, and invest in my future. Now other people come with the mindset, I'm here for my degree, get as many girls as I want, enjoy life. And so when you come in with those two different mindsets, your course of action is completely different. And opportunities will always come your way. Temptation will always come your way. I know so many pretty girls at uni. Like, a lot of people come to me, a lot of guys like, Deji, you know this girl, can you give me her number? I knew a lot of them. And temptation would always be there. But when you have a goal and this situation won't take you anywhere closer to that goal, you realize and say, you know what, it's not worth it. You can think about the here and now or the future. And at university, you find a lot of people that think about the here and now. They just want to enjoy now. They don't care about the future. And then some of them will get pregnant, for example, and they'll be like, oh, if only I didn't do this, if only I didn't do that. And so I'm a person that I always observe, and I always look at people's mistakes and make sure that I don't make the same mistake. So sometimes I'm always taking a step back. And you always give advice to people who come to you, how do you cope? How do you manage? And you realize it's because you have a goal, but you always need to occupy your mind with something, because everybody's fighting for your attention at uni. So there might be a girl that's fighting for your attention, your lecturer. Everybody wants your attention, and it's all about where you put your mind. And so I put my mind in my studies and my career, my future, and that's why I keep myself occupied. And when temptation comes, I just think long term. You might see someone, she's really pretty, has so many good features and characters about her, but I realize, you know what, I don't know you. At uni, you only see people at face value. You see them at lectures, you just see them you almost see them at their best, if I can say. When they come to lecture, they always look good at lecture, but you don't know who they are. And so you say that in your mind, you know what, as much as you may be pretty, you know what, I don't know who you are. And so I always think long term instead of short term.
So you had a goal, and your goal kept you grounded. What about you, others?
For me, because I've always been the type of person that had this independence, but that kind of, if I could say, backfires. So it's like when you go up in the educational ladder, so you go through secondary school, college, and after when you finally get into uni where you're independent, so you haven't got your parents on your back telling you to do certain things, you suddenly have this independent world before you at uni. So you're able to do various things that you want. You're able to go partying and whatnot. But I mean, even with that type of mindset, it's like you're kind of, exposed to many things, temptations. So like for me, it's like I started off from just joining, let's say, the social group in my uni, freshers. Like start from there, and that's where I met like various individuals. Started from getting their details from that, to actually seeing them at face value when I got to uni. And because of that, having that around me, plus with the crowd that I had, so the people that I got involved with, the individuals, so the boys that I had there, it didn't really help me. It didn't really, it kind of made me lose the focus of actually going to uni and saying I want to go there and have a degree. Because even before going into uni, I kind of, I didn't do too well because of the whole distractions of the girls. So I already had a mindset of saying I'm not gonna, get involved in the temptations that are gonna be there for me and whatnot. But again, that was there for me to either decide to whether or not. But I didn't really take that decision until I kind of took 2 and 2 together, and I thought to myself, I could either decide to mess around with a girl who I probably might not even see in the next 2 to 3 years, or I could decide to keep my head down and focus on education in the 3 years, and have that's going to be an investment for me rather than something that's going to be there for one night stand, and for it to not, have a good investment on me. So I kind of have a backfire on me. So that was the type of mind frame that I developed with that, and it really helped. I mean, when I kind of developed that mindset, it gave me more of a motivation to say to myself that I'm not going to allow these temptations to get to me, or individuals to kind of influence me in any type of way. So with that, kind of propelled me. And I mean, it's going to be loads of these things coming your way, especially when you're at uni, whether it's through invitations and whatnot. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about you knowing that first of all, you're actually putting a lot of money as well. So what's the point of going to uni, getting involved with these type of stuff? Plus there's money involved that probably maybe your parents have helped you finance. And then after, you don't make it all the way just because of something that lasted for one moment. So that really played in my mind. I didn't want to kind of risk that. So that really propelled me and pushed me forward to make it until the end. And even with that, it's like when I had that mindset, I remember at the end of first year, the people that, first year of uni, sorry, so the people that I engaged in just suddenly disappeared. It's like everyone that you see in your first year that were there around you just suddenly disappeared.
It shows you how fickle the relationships were, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, how fickle and how unstable they are. It's just one moment stuff, but they're not something that lasts for, let's say, a lifetime. Although there are individuals that you do meet with right intentions there, obviously, but I mean, there's other individuals that are just there for the whole moment of it. And obviously, you don't go to uni for the whole moment of it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Charles. Uche, you had an interesting experience that is a bit different from everyone's. How did temptation come your way? An unlikely source of temptation, by the way.
I went with the mentality that I'm not going to have sex until marriage, because I went through all my love life mishaps in college. So I went to uni with the mindset that I'm going to focus. But then as I was preparing for uni, and my mom would give me like pep talks, she would say to me, Uche, you need to keep an open mind. You know, you might meet a guy, you might like him. Make sure you're like this, you're like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, make sure you join this social group. You do this, you do that. The student council, the US something. And I was just like, oh my gosh, Mom, like I'm not going to uni for this. I should be on my case, which I will be out of my house by the time you're 25. You need to be married, keep your eyes open. And initially I already told her, look, no, Mom, I'll be serious. I'll be like, no, I don't, that's not my aim. But then when I started uni, it was at the back of my mind. And when I would see guys, what she would say would play on my mind. And I'd be thinking, I don't want to be 25 and not married. Maybe I could just, this guy, he looks quite nice. He's looking at me, I'm looking at him. But then simultaneously, I also had the thought, like, I don't want a guy that's not of the same faith as me, because then we'll clash, like we'll clash greatly. So I just had to be really strict with myself, really radical. If I see someone, I close my eyes and just look away, and I remember why I'm here. I'm incurring a debt right now, like, fair enough, student loan, but I'm incurring a debt that I'm going to have to pay back. And if I'm going to pay it back, I want a first in my degree, so it's worth paying back. So I would close my eyes and just I'd see a good looking guy. He's exactly what I want. He's my preference. He's my preference. I'll just close my eyes and remember what I'm there to do. I would have friends that would get a guy's number. They'll go to freshers. They will invite me. I said, I don't want to do that. I know what I'm here for. And up until now, I'm still able to defeat the temptations.
So you kind of backed away a little bit from it. You didn't put yourself in situations where you were going to be tempted by going to those freshers' balls, or is it balls or parties or raves? Whatever. I think ball is wrong. It's a long time ago. They are no longer balls. They're raves now. Yeah, so you kind of stayed clear of temptation by not putting yourself in a situation where something else could develop. What about you, Louise?
For myself, I had to learn the hard way, because I just recently graduated, but that was my second time of going to uni. The first time I actually went to university, I lived on campus, I did the whole campus life, and I didn't actually really get that warning of what was entailed on campus life. So when I was exposed to everything, I just went wild. Like, I was just enjoying it. It was freedom. I was like, yeah, I was my own person. And because of my love life, I ended up failing, and I dropped out of second year, and they wouldn't allow me back on the course. So for me, this was a second opportunity for me to make it, and for me to kind of make myself proud, and also make the people around me proud, and achieve what I really wanted to achieve. And I was not going to allow my love life to really impede me on doing that again. So even the fact that the second time I went to university, I wasn't living on campus anymore. So that temptation wasn't so much in my face. It was a lot easier for me to avoid. But however, having said that, even during lectures, you know, my mindset was just, don't look at guys. If they look at you, no eye contact. It was literally that kind of militance that I had to have on myself. But temptation still did come. It still did come. There was one person that, you know, was actually very attractive to me. I found him very attractive, and I was like, why am I finding him attractive? No, Louise, no. But then it was like, the more that you know, I kind of gave way to speak to this person, and it was like, and we ended up exchanging numbers, and I saw myself getting back into that same habit. So then that's when I had to cut it off. I was just like, no, this is my second opportunity. I'm not going to waste it. Again, like many of us were saying, there's tuition fees, you know, there's a whole lot of sacrifice that I'm putting into doing, and I'm not going to, you know, just give that up just for moments of pleasure or because this person finds me attractive. I'm not in that same mind frame anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just had to constantly keep reminding myself of what happened in the past, how my previous experience was, and not allow that to happen again.
Yeah, you guys highlighted the very reason that we are doing this series, which was you were taken aback because you were not expecting to face the things that you started facing when you arrived at university. And we are doing this series exactly to make you aware of what you will face when you get to university, right? So that you are prepared to deal with it. So you will face temptations, you will face peer pressure, you will face so many things that we've mentioned throughout this series, and you have to make yourself prepared. So how do we conclude this whole series, Hakia? What is the one advice that we can leave with them to make sure that they're prepared?
I think it's a time for you to understand the importance of listening to your mind, using your mind more than your heart, because the heart will always lead you to the easy way. You see the guy, he is handsome, so you go for it, but then you fail because you are following your emotions. But when you follow your mind will speak about consequences, will remember the future, will remember what you are there for. And at the end of the day, it's not that it's wrong for you to start a relationship in university. You might find someone who has the same goals as you, right?
I met my husband in university.
So there is nothing wrong. However, when you keep living by what you feel, you cannot be responsible with your actions, because you always, as some of you were saying, you always mess up at the end because you follow your heart, you follow your emotions, so you cannot be mature enough to take the right decisions.
Yeah, I think one thing that you guys have to remember is when you get to university, you become your own parent. You don't have your mom there anymore. You don't have your dad unless you're still living with them. And even when you're still living with them, they have a limited control over you because you still go to lectures and you're your own person. So you become your own parent, and it's up to you to parent yourself well. It's up to you to do a good job in terms of making sure that you achieve your goals. And all of them mentioned something in common, right? They all were focused on what they wanted to achieve. So what were they doing? They were using their minds.
Yeah.
They were all feeling things. They were all, I mean, Deji said we had temptations there, but my focus was what I wanted to get, right? So they were all focused on what they wanted to get. And that's where the mind helps. That's where using your mind helps. It keeps you oriented on results. It keeps you focused on results and getting good results for yourself.
And we are not saying that it's easy. It's not easy, but it's worthy.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And this is what matters. It's worthy.
It's where you start shaping your own future to the way you want it, right? You're not caught off guard because you followed an illogical thing such as your heart. Your heart is like waves. It goes up and down and it just carries you without you knowing what to do. But when you start using your mind, and Louise will identify with this, you become the sculptor of your own life. It's like you shape definitely your future. You paint it. I don't know what kind of art you do, but you shape your own future. You decide for yourself how your future should be, and that's how it should be. You shouldn't let things. You shouldn't let life carry you around. You should carry yourself and decide that life will follow your own course and your own leadership.
And believe you can do it, because all of us can. So Moti,
guys,
here we are.
I'm gonna miss you. It was really good hanging with all the university students. Such a privilege to have all of you guys sharing your own opinions with us. And you made us feel young again. You took us back to university. So thank you so much for being present with us every week in different programs, right?
And thank you who have been listening and following us throughout the month of November. Now share your comments, what you have been learning, your experience. Share these programs with your friends. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful. And I can't wait to see what is coming next in the month of December, because we have a new series coming up, right, Moti?
I'm gonna give you a clue. It's all about holidays. That's all the clue you get.
So see you next time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Bye. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.